I can still feel the chill of that crumpled receipt against my fingertips, like it was forged from ice, slipping from the pocket of his favorite navy suit as I shook out the wrinkles on our bedroom floor. The timestamp glared up at me, 8:47 p.m., a downtown hotel, the kind with crisp linens and city views that whispered promises of escape. Not our escape, someone else's. In that split second, the life I'd stitched together over 12 years began to unravel, thread by silent thread, and I wondered how many nights I'd spent alone, mistaking his ambition for love. My name's Sarah, 38, a project coordinator at a bustling ad agency in the heart of Chicago, the kind of job that pays the bills but leaves you dreaming of quieter coasts. We'd built this world in the suburbs, a 2-story colonial with a swing set creaking in the backyard breeze. 2 kids who turned chaos into joy. Lily, my 7-year-old firecracker with curls that bounced like springs. And Jack, 5, all gangly limbs and endless questions. Mark and I? We were the couple who'd met at a rooftop mixer, his hand steady on my waist during that first slow dance, promising forever under a canopy of stars. But forever, I was learning, had an expiration date stamped in hotel ink. That evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the kitchen gold, I stood there with the receipt, the house humming with normalcy, the distant hum of the dishwasher, the faint scent of Lily's strawberry shampoo drifting from her bath. My chest tightened, a vice of doubt squeezing until breath came shallow. I'd always been the steady one, the planner, folding his shirts just so, packing his lunches with notes that said, "You've got this." Now those notes felt like pleas, invisible lifelines to a man drifting further each day. I tucked the receipt into my jeans pocket, the paper crinkling like a guilty whisper, and called the kids down for dinner, mac and cheese bubbling on the stove, steam curling up like question marks. They tumbled in, faces flushed, arguing over who got the bigger scoop. I plated it mechanically, smiling through the fog in my head, but when Mark's key turned in the lock 20 minutes late, that smile cracked. He breezed in, tie askew, carrying the faint tang of rain and something floral. Not my perfume, but close enough to twist the knife. "Hey, babe," he said, leaning down to kiss my temple, his lips cool and quick. The kids swarmed him, Jack tugging at his slacks for a piggyback ride, Lily demanding stories of his office adventures. He obliged, voice warm as he hoisted Jack up, spinning until laughter echoed off the walls. I watched from the table, fork scraping china, the receipt burning a hole in my pocket. How many times had I ignored the signs? The late calls, the way he'd mute his phone during family movie nights, eyes flicking to the screen like it held secrets worth hiding. After bedtime, stories read, lights dimmed to the soft glow of night lights. I waited in the living room, wine glass in hand, the deep red swirling like blood in water. He sank onto the couch beside me, remote in hand, flipping to some sports recap. "Long day," he sighed, rubbing his neck, the gold watch I'd given him for our 10th glinting under the lamp. I nodded, throat dry, then pulled out the receipt, letting it flutter onto the coffee table like a fallen leaf. His eyes locked on it, body going still as stone. The TV droned on, crowd cheers, commentators bark, but the room shrank, air thick with the unsaid. "What's this?" I asked, voice barely above the hum, though we both knew. He picked it up, scanning the print, then set it down slow like it might shatter. "Client thing. Extended meeting. You know how it is. Client." The word landed soft, but it echoed hollow in my ears, the floral ghost lingering on his collar. I leaned forward, elbows on knees, the couch leather creaking under me. "With who, Mark?" "Because it smells like perfume." "And it's not mine." His face shifted, surprise, then that practiced calm, the one he used in boardrooms to close deals. "Sarah, come on. Paranoia doesn't suit you. Paranoia." It stung, sharp as salt in a cut, and I felt the heat rise in my cheeks, the wine turning bitter on my tongue. We'd vowed honesty, under oaks in that backyard ceremony, rings exchanged with tears and toasts. Now, it felt like a script he'd rewritten without me. The argument simmered low, voices hushed to not wake the kids, his defenses up like walls, mine cracking with each evasion. "I work hard for us," he said, standing now, pacing the rug we'd picked out together, its blues faded from spills and stories. "You think I'd throw that away?" "Throw away," as if I were the disposable one. I rose too, arms crossed over my chest, heart pounding a frantic rhythm. "Then show me your phone, just once." "Prove it." He hesitated, thumb hovering over the screen, then locked it with a sigh. "Trust me, Sarah. That's what marriage is. Trust." The word mocked me, hanging in the air like smoke from a dying fire. I turned away, throat tight, and climbed the stairs alone. The bedroom door clicking shut behind me, a small barrier in a house full of ghosts. Sleep came in fits, dreams tangled with hotel lobbies and faceless women laughing at my expense. Dawn broke gray, rain tapping the window like insistent fingers, and I slipped downstairs before he stirred. Coffee brewed, dark and strong, but it did little to chase the chill. By the time the kids bounded down, backpacks slung, I was packing lunches. Turkey on wheat for Jack, PB&J for Lily. Hearts cut in the crusts because some habits die hard. Mark appeared, showered and sharp in his gray suit, the one that hugged his shoulders just right. He poured coffee, black, and brushed my arm, casual, affectionate. "Sorry about last night. Let's forget it. Forget." As if betrayal were a spilled glass, mopped up with apologies. I nodded, forcing normalcy for the kids' sake. But inside, resolve stirred, quiet as the steam rising from his mug. Dropping them at school, the wipers swishing rhythmically against the drizzle, my mind raced. Who was she? How long had this shadow danced in our light? At work, the open-plan office buzzed, phones ringing, keyboards clacking, but I stared at my screen, emails blurring. Lunch with Lisa, my rock since college, at our usual spot, the corner cafe with mismatched mugs and the best lattes in the loop. She slid into the booth, scarf unwinding, eyes sharp. "You look like hell." Spill. Over foam-topped drinks and half-eaten paninis, it poured out, the receipt, the perfume, the locked phone. Her fork paused midair, mayo dripping like tears. "That bastard? Confront him hard, Sarah, or hire a PI. PI, private investigator." The idea slithered in, cold and calculating, but empowering too. As we hugged goodbye, her perfume, vanilla, familiar, clung to my coat, a reminder I wasn't alone. That afternoon, back at my desk, I Googled her name. Emily Hargrove. His executive assistant, LinkedIn gleaming with her polished profile, Wharton grad, yoga enthusiast. Photos from galas where she shone like a star I couldn't touch. 29, 8 years my junior, with that effortless glow of possibility. My stomach knotted, fingers trembling on the mouse. One click led to Instagram, private. But mutual friends let me peek. Rooftop cocktails, arms linked with colleagues. Captions like "Team wins" under shots of Mark's office skyline. Enough. I shut the laptop, the snap echoing like a door slam. But curiosity clawed, and by evening, as I grilled chicken for dinner, the sizzle masking my turmoil, I felt it, the shift from hurt to hunger for truth. Mark texted, running late, "Love you. Love." I typed back same, but deleted it, sending nothing. Silence as my first weapon. He arrived at 8, hair damp from a shower, not ours, carrying takeout excuses. "Traffic," he said, unpacking Thai containers, the spicy aroma filling the kitchen. The kids devoured Pad CU, chopsticks clacking, oblivious. I picked at mine, watching him joke with Jack about superheroes, his laugh booming. But when bedtime called and we retreated to the den for us time, I couldn't hold it. "Emily," I said, the name dropping like a stone into still water. His fork froze, noodles dangling. "What about her?" Casual, too casual. I met his eyes, the TV's blue flicker dancing across his face. "The hotel, the perfume. It's her, isn't it?" Denial came swift, laced with irritation. "Jesus, Sarah, she's my assistant." Nothing more, nothing. The lie tasted metallic, and I stood, plates clattering to the sink. Upstairs, alone again, I rifled his side of the closet. Suits hung neat, but one pocket yielded a gum wrapper, minty and innocuous. Or was it? Paranoia, he called it. But deep down, I knew this was just the beginning. The real unraveling waited, coiled like smoke in the dark. What I found that weekend would shatter the facade forever. And in its place, a fire I never knew I carried. The weekend dawned crisp, leaves crunching underfoot like brittle bones as I raked the yard, the kids piling them into forts that toppled with gleeful shrieks. Mark mowed the lawn, earbuds in, oblivious to my sidelong glances, the way his phone buzzed every 15 minutes, pulling him inside with muttered work calls. Work, always the shield. By noon, the air smelled of fresh-cut grass and barbecue smoke from neighbors' grills, a suburban symphony I'd once loved. Now it underscored the dissonance in our home. Each laugh from Lily, a reminder of what we risked losing. I cornered him in the garage that afternoon, amid shelves of paint cans and holiday bins, the fluorescent bulb humming overhead. "Show me the texts," I said, voice steady as the ladder leaning against the wall. He pulled out an earbud, brow creasing. "What? Sarah, not this again." But I held firm, arms crossed, the scent of gasoline sharp in my nostrils. "If it's nothing, prove it, or we're done pretending." He exhaled, long and defeated, thumbing the screen unlocked. Messages scrolled, innocent on the surface, meeting notes attached, coffee run? From Emily. But timestamps lied, 10:23 p.m. responses, emojis that felt too familiar, a heart on one that made my vision tunnel. "See?" he said, pocketing it quick. "Told you." I nodded, throat burning, but the seed was planted. That night, as thunder rumbled distant, shaking the windows, I lay awake beside him, his snores even, my mind a storm. Monday blurred into routine. School drop-offs, traffic snarls on the Dan Ryan, office chatter that drowned my thoughts. But at lunch, Lisa dragged me to a park bench overlooking the lake, wind whipping our napkins from turkey wraps. "PI time," she insisted, scrolling contacts on her phone. "My cousin does it discreet. No drama." Drama, as if my life weren't already a script gone wrong. I hesitated, the sun warm on my face, gulls crying overhead. "What if I'm wrong?" She squeezed my hand, rings cool against my skin. Better to know than wonder. By evening, the PI's email landed. First report, slim but damning. Photos attached, Mark's car in the hotel lot, Emily's sleek Audi parked 2 spots over, timestamps matching the receipt. My hands shook as I zoomed in, her profile clear in the passenger seat. Laughing at something he said. Laughing. The kind of joy I'd chased in our early days. Before mortgages and carpools dulled the edges. I confronted him over dinner. Roast chicken, golden and crisp, the oven's heat mirroring my rising fury. The kids at the table, forks scraping, but my voice dropped low. The hotel. With her. I slid my phone across, photo glaring. His face paled, fork clattering. "Sarah, wait, wait," as if time could rewind the clicks of my breaking heart. Lily looked up, sauce on her chin. "Mommy okay?" I forced a smile, wiping it away. "Just grown-up talk, bug." He followed me to the laundry room after, door shut against the kids' cartoons blaring. "It was one time," he whispered, hands on my shoulders, breath minty from gum chewed in panic. "Stress, she gets me. Gets you." The words sliced, deeper than any blade, because I had, once. Sleepless nights when he'd vent about deadlines, my arms his harbor. Now another held the map. "One time?" I echoed, stepping back, the washer's hum vibrating through me. "The necklace in your briefcase?" "That's not one time." His eyes widened, caught. The velvet box, silver chain glinting like a noose. A gift. Appreciation. Appreciation. "For what, stolen sheets?" I laughed, bitter and low, the sound foreign in my throat. "Get out, tonight," he pleaded. Voice cracking, the kids, the house, us, but I turned away, folding towels with mechanical precision, each crease a boundary drawn. He left at 10, duffel slung over shoulder, the front door's click echoing like finality. The house fell silent, too big without him, shadows lengthening across the hardwood. I tucked the kids in, their small bodies warm against mine, Lily's whisper. "Daddy coming back?" Piercing like arrows. "Soon," I lied, kissing her forehead, the lie tasting like chalk. Alone, I poured scotch, his stash, peaty and sharp, and scrolled her socials again. Posts from last week, weekend getaway vibes, a blurred skyline shot, his watch in the frame. Rage bubbled, hot and unbidden, mixing with grief that soaked my sleeves. By midnight, the PI's second call came. Voice gravelly over the line. More photos tomorrow. Bank statements, too. You sure you want this? Sure. The word anchored me, a lifeline in the dark. Tuesday brought the full report. Emails printed, coffee stained at the edges. Late-night threads. Can't wait for Thursday, her words playful. His replies laced with fire emojis that burned my eyes. Hotel charges on his card, dinners at spots we'd dreamed of but never gone. My office blurred, colleagues' voices distant as I slipped to the bathroom. Splashing water cold on my face, mirror reflecting a woman I barely knew. Eyes hollow, jaw set. Lisa met me after work, her car idling curbside, headlights cutting fog. Read it? She asked, passing a thermos of tea, chamomile steam soothing. I nodded, voice thick. Months. God, months. We drove aimless, city lights streaking, her hand on mine at stops. Divorce, she said soft. And revenge? Make it hurt. Revenge. The idea flickered. Not vicious, but just a balance to the scales he'd tipped. Home, the kids greeted with hugs, Jack's Lego tower toppling in excitement. I cooked pasta, al dente, sauce simmering with basil from our windowsill, small rituals to ground me. But as they ate, phone silent for once, I felt the fracture. Laughter without him rang hollow, yet freer too. Bedtime stories stretched long, their eyelids heavy, and I lingered, tracing their lashes, vowing not on my watch. Mark texted at 11, at a hotel. Miss you. Let's talk. Miss. I typed tomorrow, deleted, then, lawyer first, send. The whoosh felt like release. A door cracked open to air. His reply flooded, no please, I love you. Love. Once my son, now a storm cloud. Wednesday, the lawyer's office. Leather chairs creaking, her pen scratching notes on yellow pads. Adultery evidence strong, she said, glasses perched low. Custody? 50-50 if you fight clean. Fight clean. I nodded, signing retainers, the ink drying like sealing wax on a decree. Outside, rain slicked the streets, wipers thumping a dirge, but inside, clarity bloomed, cold, but mine. At his office pickup for the kids' forgotten backpacks, I lingered in the lobby, marble cool under heels. Emily's desk gleamed, framed photos of beaches and brunches, her laugh filtering from behind Mark's door, light, intimate. My pulse raced, bag heavy with laundry I'd grabbed on impulse. His boxers, stained from that one night, crumpled like his excuses. Heart hammering, I approached while she stepped away for coffee, the machine's gurgle masking my steps. I draped them over her keyboard, deliberate, the fabric settling soft but accusatory. A note scribbled quick. He forgot these. Then gone, elevator descending smooth, the ding a punctuation to my audacity. Outside, air crisp with exhaust and relief, I laughed, shaky, triumphant. Petty? Perhaps? But in that act, power surged, electric through my veins. Mark called seconds later, voice thunder. What did you do? I smiled into the phone, walking to my car, keys jangling. Gave her a piece of you, like you gave me. Silence, then pleading. Sarah, stop. This destroys us. Us. There was no us anymore. No, I said calm, engine turning over. This rebuilds me. That night, as stars pricked the sky and the house settled into quiet, the turning point crystallized. Betrayal wasn't the end. It was the forge. And I was emerging, sharper, unbreakable. But the fallout? It crashed like waves, pulling me under before I learned to swim. The morning after the desk drop, sunlight slanted harsh through the blinds, casting stripes across the kitchen table like bars on a cage. Coffee brewed automatic, but my hands shook, pouring it, the mug's heat seeping through ceramic to skin still tingling from last night's rebellion. The kids stirred upstairs, small feet pattering, their innocence a balm against the chaos I'd unleashed. Yet guilt nipped at the edges. Had I gone too far? Or not far enough? School run first, backpacks zipped, lunches packed with carrot sticks crunching under foil. Lily chattered about finger paints, red swirls like warning flags, while Jack fiddled with his seatbelt asking, "When's Daddy home?" I glanced in the rear view, their faces mirrors of worry and wonder. Soon, buddy. But Mommy's here. Here. The word grounded me, tires humming over potholes, the city waking with horns and haste. Work was a haze, meetings droned, my notes doodled into knots. By noon, Mark's texts piled. Emily's furious. HR involved. Then, we need to talk. Now. Fury. Good. Let it burn him as it had me. I replied sparse. Lawyer tomorrow. 2 p.m. The colon blinked back, accusatory. Lunch alone at my desk. Salad wilting uneaten. I replayed the drop. The fabrics slide. Her desks gleam. Empowerment, yes, but laced with dread. What if it backfired? Custody tangled in pettiness. Afternoon brought the lawyer's update. Voicemail crisp. Discovery served. His firm's policy on affairs? Strict. Strict. A chink in his armor, the promotion he'd chased now shadowed. I forwarded it to Lisa, her thumbs-up emoji a cheer in the storm. But as clock out neared, Emily's number flashed. Unknown, but instinct knew. I answered in the parking garage, echoey and dim, concrete pillars looming. Mrs. Thompson? Her voice quivered, young and edged with ice. The underwear. It's disgusting. Disgusting. The word ricocheted, but I breathed even, leaning against my car, metal cool through my blouse. Disgusting? Try the lies. The nights he spent with you. Silence stretched, then a sniff. Tears? It wasn't like that. He said you were distant. Distant. Me? The one holding vigils while he climbed ladders. I laughed, low. Believe what you want. But know this. He's mine to expose. She hung up abrupt, the click a slammed door. Driving home, radio soft with indie folk, guitars strumming sorrows, I felt the shift, no longer victim, but voice. Dinner was tacos, ground beef sizzling, shells crisping golden. The kids assembled theirs, cheese avalanche, giggles bubbling. Taco Tower! Jack declared, teetering high. I joined, mustard on my chin, the normalcy, a fragile bridge. Mark arrived unannounced at 7, knocking soft, face-drawn under porch light. The kids squealed, hugging his legs, but I stood threshold, arms barred. 5 minutes, I said, voice steel. Inside, living room dim, toys scattered like landmines. He knelt to the kids first, whispers and forehead kisses, then rose, eyes pleading. Sarah, Emily quit. Blames me, the office. It's hell. Quit. Karma's first bite, swift and sweet. I crossed to the window, curtains whispering against my fingers, street lamps flickering on. Good. Let it be. He stepped closer, cologne faint. Hers? Hands outstretched. I messed up badly, but us? We can fix. Fix. Like a vase, glued cracks visible. I turned, meeting his gaze. The man I'd loved now stranger. You said once, quietly in the dark, you'll never survive without me. After my layoff, remember? When I cried over bills, he flinched, memory striking true. I didn't mean... But I cut in, voice steady. You did, and now, watch me thrive. The kids tugged at him then, playtime calls, and he played. Trucks vrooming across carpet, laughter forced but real. Watching, heart twisted, this was our world, fractured but fond. When they tired, bedtime beckoned, and he lingered in the hall, coat on. I love you, he murmured, hand brushing mine, electric, familiar. I pulled away, door opening to night air crisp. Love isn't enough anymore. Alone, scotch again, ice clinking, I scrolled evidence folders, photos, logs, a timeline of thefts. His time, our trust. Rage ebbed to sorrow, tears hot on cheeks, but beneath, resolve armored. Phone buzzed, Lisa. Heard from a friend, firm's investigating him. Promotion toast, toast, burned edges like our vows. I texted back deserved, then blocked his number, the swipe final as a guillotine. Thursday dawned stormy, clouds boiling low, thunder grumbling threats. Office emails piled, but a client lunch pulled me out, steakhouse dim, leather booth swallowing sound. Colleagues toasted deals, wine tart on tongue, but my mind wandered to him. Alone in some sterile suite, mirrors reflecting regrets. Pity flickered, snuffed quick. No, he chose this. Afternoon, the PI's final dossier, voice recordings, hacked from his car, her voice, breathy, Miss you already. His soon, babe. She's clueless, clueless, me. The stab deepened, but I saved it, ammo for court. Home, rain-lashed windows, kids splashing puddles in raincoats, boots squelching joy. I joined, water-soaking hems, laughter mine, genuine, rising like bubbles. That night, his email. Long, laced with scripture quotes and pleas, attachments of couples therapy flyers. For the kids, he wrote. Kids. Our anchors, now pawns in his redemption play. I drafted reply, cold facts, no emotion, then deleted, letting silence scream. Bed called early, sheets cool without him, but sleep came deeper. Dreams of open roads, wind in hair. Friday, court prep with the lawyer, files spread on oak desk, coffee bitter black. Alimony solid, she said, tapping clauses. And the affair? Leverage for assets, assets. The house savings, dreams deferred. I nodded, pen scratching addendums, the scratch like nails on chalkboard. His future dimming. Outside, sun broke through, puddles steaming, a rainbow faint but fierce. Mark showed at pickup, waiting curbside, flowers wilting in his fist. Roses, thorns clipped, my favorite lie. The kids ran to him, but I scooped them close. Not today. His face crumpled, petals drooping. Please, Sarah, one family dinner. Family. The word pulled, but I shook head. Earn it, or lose it. Driving away, mirrors shrinking him, empowerment swelled, tidal, unstoppable. Weekend blurred healing, park picnics, swings creaking, ice cream cones dripping sticky. Lisa joined Saturday, wine and walks, her stories of her own divorce a map through mine. Revenge? She teased. The underwear was gold. What's next? Next. I smiled, leaves swirling at our feet. Living well, that's the blade. But Monday the bomb dropped. HR called to me, anonymous tip followed. His misconduct flagged. Suspension pending. He texted from a new number. Ruined. Thanks to you. Thanks. I didn't reply, but inside, vindication bloomed, petals unfurling slow. The turning point wasn't the drop. It was this, seeing my pain reflected in his fall and choosing mercy not as weakness, but strength. Yet as autumn deepened, colors bleeding gold, a new fear whispered, what if freedom's price was loneliness eternal? Winter crept in soft first snow, dusting the lawn like powdered sugar on forgotten cakes, the kids' breaths fogging windows as they pressed noses to glass, exclaiming at Flake's dance. Court dates loomed, December 15th, circled red on calendars, but life insisted forward. School plays rehearsed in living rooms, costumes sewn with uneven stitches, my hands steady now where they'd once trembled. Mark's visits were supervised, park benches under bare oaks, his eyes hollowed, suits bagging on frames thinned by stress. The hearing came crisp, courtroom air chilled and formal, wood paneling absorbing echoes. I sat straight, navy dress hugging like armor, lawyer's voice slicing facts, timelines, photos, the necklace receipt as Exhibit A. Mark opposite, tie crooked, his counsel murmuring low. When the judge, stern, silver-haired, ruled custody joint, assets split equitable, alimony monthly like clockwork, relief washed me, cool as the snow outside. He glanced over, mouth tight. Fair, he mouthed. I nodded once, no triumph, just closure's quiet nod. Post-court, coffee with Lisa at the diner. Formica counters sticky, pie steaming apple sweet. You won, she said, fork spearing crust. Won. But victory tasted bittersweet, laced with what-ifs. Holidays without his bad puns, beds empty of his snores. Now what? She pressed. Now. Freelance pitches landed, ad campaigns for local brands, deadlines that thrilled with possibility. I nodded, steam rising between us. Me, finally. Months folded, January's ice storms trapping us indoors, fort building with blankets and flashlights, Jack's flashlight beam cutting shadows like my resolve. Mark's calls sporadic, therapies helping, miss the chaos, and I listened, voice neutral, boundaries firm. Progress, I'd say, hanging up to yoga mats unrolled, poses stretching scars into strength. Emily faded, new job in New York. Per LinkedIn ghosts, her posts now solo travels, filters hiding hollows, spring thawed slow, tulips pushing soil in planters I tended alone, dirt under nails a therapy of earth. The house sold in April, offer swift closing papers signed over escargot at closing dinner, irony not lost. Proceeds bought a bungalow near the lake, white siding fresh, porch swing swaying gentle. Moving day, boxes labeled kitchen, hours, kids directing with toy walkie-talkies, laughter echoing empty halls. Mark helped load the truck, muscles straining, sweat beading, silent labor, no words needed. New home smelled of paint and promise. First night pizza on the floor, boxes as tables, sauce stains marking territory. Our castle, Lily declared, crown from a cereal box askew. Castle. Yes, weekends filled, farmers' markets, strawberries tart and sun-warm, bike rides along paths where wind whispered freedoms. Dates crept in. Cautious, coffee with Tom, a graphic designer whose laugh crinkled eyes without guile. No rush, just talks that lingered, his hand brushing mine accidental. Sparks tentative. Summer bloomed hot, barbecues with Lisa's crew, grills smoking ribs, beer bottles sweating condensation. Stories swapped under string lights. Mark joined once, awkward at edges, kids bridging gaps with water balloon wars, shrieks soaking shirts. You look good, he said later, dusk purple, fireflies winking. Happy. Happy. The word settled, truth without barbs. I am, I replied, grill smoke curling. You? He shrugged, embers glowing. Learning. Fall circled back, leaves gold again, school buses rumbling. My agency promoted me, lead coordinator, office with a view, skyline stretching endless. Evenings, porch swing creaking, book in lap, wine glass dewing, contentment wove quiet. One night, Mark's text, article on me, new firm, clean start. Thought you'd want to know. Link clicked. Byline proud, no shadows. Pride flickered unbidden. Proud of you, I sent. His, same for you, always. Karma's full circle, his suspension lifted, but demoted. Desk job, no team, lessons etched deep. Emily's posts ceased. Silence her reckoning. Me? Thriving, women's group at the Y, circles of shared scars turning to solidarity. Vacation solo with kids. Beaches where waves erased old footprints. Looking back, that receipt wasn't ruin. It was revelation. Betrayal stripped illusions, but in the bare, I found bones strong. A mother fierce, a woman whole. The underwear? Not revenge's end, but spark. Igniting boundaries, burning bridges to build better paths. Empowerment isn't loud. It's the quiet yes to self, every dawn. If this tale touched your heart, hit like and share below. Ever turned pain to power? Drop where you're tuning in from in the comments. Thanks for riding this wave with me. Catch you on the next story.